Wadau, nataka kuambia kitu moja. Coach of the year imeshindwa na Dylan Kerr. Sijui kama nimesema hiyo jina right. Hajakuwa hapa kukolekta award yake. Dylan Kerr hajakuwa area. Lakini Wadau tuliongea na yeye. Unaona kitu tulisema? Cheki hiyo. First and foremost, what's your postmortem about the season that's ending?
Well, we've still got 6 games left, so it's not really ended. Plus we've got possibly 3 cup finals really, because today is the first cup final to get in the semi-finals. But the season's gone very, very well to a point, to an extent. The expectations that we've had as a club has been fantastic and we've fulfilled most of them. The disappointing thing obviously was losing to Rayon at home and then losing to Algiers away. But saying that, I think everybody was hoping, like myself, that we could go very far in this competition. But you have to realise and understand that, you know, it's the first year that they've been in the group stages for a long time, and I compare it to the great Sir Alex Ferguson. It took him years before he won his first Premier League title. It took him years before he won his first European Cup, or now the Champions League trophy. So I look at it purely on the football thing of it, that, you know, it takes time, it takes more than a year. It would have been nice to qualify, but in football sometimes it has a nasty habit of kicking away. You don't want to be kicked when you think that you deserve to be, you know, in the next round, and unfortunately things off the field didn't help us, and you know that's something that I've got no control in, but it does affect my team, it does affect my players.
What's your relationship like with the office, with the EC?
I've got a good relationship with them. Obviously, I'm employed by them, so I must be doing something right. No, my chairman's a rarity in African football. He actually leaves you alone. He lets you do your job. But like I said, you know, there's a lot of lessons to be learned from this year. We need to build on the mistakes we've made, rectify them to the best we can. We have to stop kidding ourselves that we're this best team in Africa when we haven't got the financial backing, we haven't got the financial support, we haven't got sponsorship. We've only got Sportpesa behind us, which is fantastic. Without them, this club would die. The fans are out of this world. The fans are brilliant, you know, and that's the heart and soul of a football club. But in this day and age, football has cost money. Football costs money. You know, we're having to go to the president, to the governor of Nairobi to try and help us, which is fantastic. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely brilliant what they're doing, but we shouldn't be doing that. And you know, but like I said, my chairman and the EC, they've, you know, accepted my role and responsibilities. We're never going to agree on everything, you know, but you know that's part and parcel of the job. It's football in Africa.
Let me also know, do you have a direct hand in signings, or somebody does the signings for you?
I'm not going to answer that question, so that answers your question for you. You know, so look, you know, the players I've wanted to bring, we can't afford their wages, they can't afford their salaries. The players that other people bring in, you know, you have to ask what their motivation is to bring them in. You know, at the end of the day, I think we've done okay since I've been here, but there'll be a few changes in the summer. There'll be a few additions in the summer. Things that we, again, like I said, we've learnt on experience. Things that we wouldn't have found out if we hadn't been in the confederations, if we hadn't won the league so early. You know, we wouldn't have found these things out. You know, maybe there's questions against me. You know, who knows? But you know, at the end of the day, I've got to do my job with what I have, who I have. Rotating the squad is brilliant, but it doesn't help your team, and by that I mean, you know, none of the best teams change their squads week in, week out like I have had to do.
What's your typical kind of day like?
Bright and early, 6 o'clock, and I have a coffee. First thing I've got to do is have a coffee. Without a coffee, I don't survive the day.
You know, Kenyan coffee is one of the best coffees.
Kenyan coffee is the best, but I've actually got my own English coffee over here. Don't ask me why. No, Kenyan coffee is brilliant.
Where do you get English coffee from? You came with it from home?
Yeah, no, I bring plenty of jars with me. That's one of the things that without my coffee, I don't live. But I get up at 6 and I have my coffee, and then I go out for a walk, because I like to think when I walk. I go and have another coffee in Lamington or Kileleshwa, or you know, sometimes I walk into Nairobi, and I read the newspapers, I check all the emails, I do my work while I'm having my coffee. Then I'll go home and everything's prepared the day before for training. It's very difficult because you never know who's going to come to training, who's injured, who's not going to report. Are they going to report on time? Are they going to report late? So that's a bit frustrating. If we're training at 3, I'll have a bit of lunch, and then we leave to training whilst we're in traffic. You know, in my head I'll go around a few things, trying to find out if anybody's going to be missing from training. And then in the evening I go home, and if there's football on the TV, I'll go to a local bar and have my dinner and watch the football, as I do every night. Doesn't matter what country. If there's football on the TV, I'm watching it. I have a TV at home, but I don't watch it at home. I get lazy then, and like I said, I go out. I've got some very, very good friends that I've met and socialised with, but it's professionally done. So yeah, that's my daily routine really.
There's a match you lost in Mombasa. Actually, the only match you lost this season. So many fans accredited it to feeding. Like the players had a very heavy breakfast and all that. First of all, is that true? They were very heavy in the pitch.
I don't think that's true. I mean, they did take advantage of a 5-star hotel, which you would expect every African to do. But no, that wasn't the factor. The factor was we lost the game. I mean, there's no excuse for losing a game. You can't blame it on food. You can't blame it on the field. You lose the game. The other team won it, and sometimes that happens in football. I stated, I think in March, that we wouldn't go in the season unbeaten. Even in March, they were talking about it. Can you go unbeaten? It's not about being unbeaten. It's about winning the league. So, however you win the league, whether it's by 20 points, whether it's by 3 points, you win the league. Whether it's by 6 games or whether it's by the last game of the season.
As a coach, do you also advise your players on diet and all that? What to eat, what not to eat?
I would love to, but it's a waste of time. I'd love to, but it's a waste of time.
Why would you say it's a waste of time?
You have to be educated from a young age on what it's like to be a professional athlete. You can't just decide at 26. A coach comes in and says, right, you've got to stop eating ugali, you've got to stop eating chicken, you've got to stop eating fried tilapia, you've got to eat boiled potatoes, you've got to eat vegetables. You can't do that at that age. It's too late. And trying to change people's attitude to food, and you're telling them what to do, they'll hate you and they'll lose games, and that means you'll get the sack. I have to just trust my players that they eat well, live well, sleep well, and work hard. And I've been here just over 14 months, and we've had not had to change anything because we've got good staff, we've got good doctors. Sometimes they'll give us chips on pre-match, which I grab all the chips in. They're not eating them. So no, you can't. It's a waste of paper, it's a waste of print money, it's a waste of my time. But if you can get the kids at 16, 17 to do that, then that's when they'll learn and that's when they'll get better.
Have you ever advised the EC maybe on training with the 16, 17-year-olds who are at Gor Mahia Youth and maybe...
We're doing that already. When we train at Toyoyo, we have half the pitch and the under-18s have the half the pitch. And again, that's not seen in too many people's minds as a good thing, which astounds me. There's a lot of jealousy. A lot of EC members that do their own thing for their own gain. At the end of the day, that's how it is. But if it comes against my football club, then it needs to be sorted out. Again, we haven't really had the time because of our fixtures, 3 games every week. This is our 20th game in just over 2 months. I mean, that's horrendous. That's what cost us Confederations Cup. My players were tired. My players in March were on fire. My players in August are dead. I've rested some today to help the Harambee Stars coach, which might go against me. We might get beat today and they might ask me questions why. But I've got faith in my players that I have. Hopefully they'll turn out today and do a good performance, as they did against Sportpesa, as they did against AFC. And they do it today against Sharks. But I've got to help Sebastian, the national coach, with players he's selected from Gor Mahia, that they're fresh and that he's got them ready for the tough game against Ghana. We all want to qualify for AFCON, and this is the game that they have to win. Okay.
A lot of Kenyan coaches usually are not drafted by the KPL teams because of qualifications. First, I'd like to know at what level of coaching qualification are you on?
Currently, I've got everything but the pro license. But the pro license it's expensive, but it's not the money that is the reason I'm not taking it. It's because you get a pro license, you're not guaranteed a job. So there's a lot of coaches who've got a pro license that can't get work. I've got a UEFA B A advanced license, which I did in 2005. Every 3 years I have to do 15 hours CPD, which is, if I don't do that, I lose my license. As long as I'm playing football, as long as I'm enjoying football, as long as I'm learning from games like I'm watching now, Sportpesa and Tusker, learn from the coaches, maybe learn from the players, watch the officials. As long as I'm doing that, then I'll become a better coach. I don't need a piece of plastic telling me that I'm a coach. What I do is what I do on the field. You can't sit in front of a TV or a monitor or a video screen and tell people how to play. It's what you do on the green grass. That's what counts.
I believe you did play football. You're right-footed or left-footed?
I'm left-footed, but I can kick with my right badly.
What position are you playing?
I started as a striker as a kid, then I got moved into midfield, then I ended up left back. Yes, I started at Sheffield Wednesday as a kid, went to South Africa, I played in South Africa for 3 years, then I went back to Leeds United, Reading, I had 2 loan spells at Doncaster and Blackpool, moved to Scotland to play for Kilmarnock, went to Hamilton Academicals, and then I retired at 32, and I won every trophy at every club I've been at. My CV's pretty good. Actually, no, it's damn good.
Wow.
It's damn good. My first coaching job was in America, where I won a title with a team of youth, of an academy team that never won a thing in their history. And my first 3 months there, we won a trophy. And then I went to Vietnam as an assistant coach, South Africa, sorry, as an assistant coach. Went to Vietnam, became head coach, won the equivalent to the Sportpesa Shield. I won that. Then I came here and I've won my second league championship trophy. So my CV is looking pretty good.
Have you had tattoos for all those teams you've won with?
I've had all tattoos. I've got 3 to go. I've got 3 more to do. I've got my Vietnamese, my Scottish one, and I've got a South African one to do. Don't know where I'm going to put it though. It's the big tattoos. But the one I wanted was a Confederations Cup. I wanted that tattoo, but maybe next year. Well, no, I want CAF next year, so I want the Champions League next year.
I was told that the following season will start earlier than the other season. I think you'll have to start working on signings for next season pretty much earlier than expected.
Yeah, we have to.
Which positions are you looking at?
Well, obviously we've got to sit down with Zico and Willis, the goalkeeper coach, sit down with the TM, sit down with the CEO, sit down with the people that make the decision. I tried to sign people in the last transfer window, but they wanted too much money, and then we ended up, bringing in Mustafa, who's a good kid, but he's played a season in Rwanda, and his energy levels are not the same, and it's going to be tough next year. It's going to be very tough next year, not just for us, for everyone. How can you play the games, the amount of games we have, finish on October 7th, then go over to Everton, play in Everton, and then 3 weeks later the season starts? But that's football. That's football.
Who was your motivation to become a coach?
Howard Wilkinson, my old coach at Leeds United. I was an apprentice at Sheffield Wednesday when he was manager, and then he won promotion as runners-up in our first year. Then he actually kicked me out of Sheffield Wednesday for not being good enough, and I ended up going to South Africa. But 3 years later he brought me back to Leeds, and I spent 4 great years at Leeds. But watching him from that age, I left South Africa at 18. I did my first licence in South Africa at 18 years of age because of what Howard did. What I liked about him is his man management, his player management, his philosophy, his ethics, his belief and his enthusiasm for the game. It wasn't everybody's cup of tea because he was long ball. But for me, he got players to play for him, and I pride myself in not just here, but every team I've coached, I've got players that want to play for me. No matter how much money you've got, if you haven't got that in your team, then you'll never get anywhere.
All right. I think we have a lot to talk about, but then I'll take it up myself to look for you and. Yeah.
Hi, my name's Dylan Kerr, coach of Gor Mahia from Kileleshwa, Nairobi, and you're watching Wadau TV. Enjoy.